Hey everyone, I'm the Canadian lad, and today I watched Iron Man 3 in 0.25x speed on the occasion of Tony Stark's 50th birthday. So let us celebrate his birthday by finding out smaller details that are difficult to notice in regular speed, and appreciate Iron Man 3 a little bit more than before. But before I move on with the video, I'd like to thank today's sponsor, Marvel Collect by Topps. Marvel Collect is the ultimate destination where you can collect your favorite characters from across the Marvel multiverse. You can also trade with other players to acquire collectibles you need to complete your missions or sets. Every day we'll have new missions to earn rewards or coins, which will help you buy new packs to rip open. To kick things off, we can use the will and 1 energy to collect some packs or free coins, and it looks like we got Black Panther. I also have a ton of coins from claiming the free daily rewards, so now I can open a bunch of packs to try and complete a set. Let's see what we get. Okay, Hulk, Thanos and Thor. Perfect. Now I can use all these cards to trade with other players to get the card that I want, which is a rare Iron Man card. Apart from trading, we can also fuse common and duplicate cards and upgrade them to more unique and rare cards. And my username is the Canadian lad, so if you want to collect and trade with me, follow my link in description to download Marvel Collect by Topps today. Number 1. When we see Tony Stark getting his first ever anxiety attack, Tony asks Jarvis to find out what's going on, whether it's something with his heart or his brain. There we can see in Tony's HUD display that his suit is also able to do a CT scan of his heart. It also says magnetic resonance imaging, commonly known as MRI, which means his suit also has the mechanics to perform an MRI on Tony's body. Number 2. After Tony managed to escape from the Mandarin's attack at his house, he flew all the way to Tennessee, and there from a telephone booth he left a message for Pepper to let her know that he's okay. Notice when Pepper puts on the helmet to listen to this message, the left side screen is broken because the helmet was cracked open on the left side. Hence, whatever Pepper saw on the left hand side of her screen, it was either glitching or damaged. Number 3. Tony ignored a safety briefing before testing out Mark 42's suit.
I've also prepared a safety briefing for you to entirely ignore.
Which I will.
As a result, when he was about to wear his flying mask, as soon as it closes, it made a cut on the left side of his bottom lip. Here you can see an after-before comparison of him wearing the mask versus just before wearing it. The before picture shows no blood, but right after wearing the mask, there's blood on his face. Number 4. At the beginning of the film, Tony is seen practicing Wing Chun, which is one of the forms of Kung Fu. Tony uses the same move while fighting one of the guards of Mandarin later in the movie. As a matter of fact, Robert Downey Jr. himself has learned Wing Chun in real life, and that's why we see this move reoccurring in multiple movies, but more on that in a future video. Number 5. In the final fight, Eldritch Killian punched Iron Man so hard that it not only destroyed the arm of Tony's suit, but also burned out the sleeves of Tony's hoodie. Just before this happened, we can clearly see Tony's hoodie was in perfect condition, but just as Eldritch Killian threw his punch, it took out the suit's arm as well as burned out Tony's sleeves, and that's why we only see Tony with one of his sleeves in his hoodie after this scene. Number 6. When Eric 7 gets out of the car to confront Tony Stark, he throws out the hot coffee he was drinking, but notice because the coffee was too hot, it burned his mouth, which made his face glow. Because he's one of the extremists, so whenever he comes across anything that's hot or touches anything that's hot, it makes his actual form appear in public. Number 7. When testing out the Mark 42 suit, Tony makes a small superhero landing, but then a remaining piece that was stuck in the glass hits his suit and Mark 42 totally disassembles. But notice if we slow down the speed and zoom in, his robot dummy is clearly seen sending the remaining piece back to him. Without watching it in slow motion, it might seem as though that piece of his suit has automatically got itself out of the glass, but slowing it down makes it clear that it was indeed Dummy who pulled it out of the glass and threw it at Tony. Number 8. The doctor who Tony ignored at the beginning of the movie at the party in Switzerland is the same doctor who performed the surgery on Tony. We only get a glimpse at his face for less than a second before he puts on his surgical mask, and I think it shows how far Tony has evolved in his life. He ignored Jensen at the same party who later on saved his life, and he also ignored this doctor who ended up operating him 13 years later. Which brings me to my next point, number 9. Tony had this operation to remove the shrapnel from his chest, and in the next scene we see him giving Pepper a necklace that is made from the same shrapnel. Without slowing down the speed or zooming in, it becomes very difficult to notice this one, and I guess now we can all say that Tony literally gave gave a piece of his heart to Pepper Potts. Number 10. There's a small parallel between the final fight with Eldritch Killian and the Battle of Titan in Infinity War against Thanos. In both instances, Iron Man used his repulsors to boost his strength so that he can throw more heavy punches and kicks. This shows how much more powerful Iron Man has become by the time we reach Infinity War, because he essentially makes the same move as he made in Iron Man 3, but this time he managed to make Thanos bleed, and that shows his power. Number 11. The way Pepper killed Killian in the final fight mirrors how Tony took down one of the Mandarin's helicopters earlier in the film by throwing a rocket and shooting it with a repulsor bolt. Pepper may have learned it while watching Tony fight the helicopters, because Pepper was standing right outside their home and she could clearly see how Tony was fighting. Number 12. Just before the Mandarin attacked Tony at his place, Tony was having an argument with Pepper, but if we look at the background, we can see there's a Christmas style stocking that says Jervis. Now I'm not sure if this was meant for Jervis or just for Pepper so that she can randomly wear it, but it's good to know there's something like that existed in Tony's house. Number 13. At the end, when Tony Stark sends a lot of gifts for Harley Keener, one of the gifts is a Dora the Explorer watch. It's because Tony had borrowed a digital Dora watch from Harley's sister, but then one of the guards destroyed the watch, so Tony had to buy a new one and gave him as a gift. Number 14. When Pepper caught Tony that he wasn't in his suit while she was talking to him, in the background we can see Tony Stark has a statue containing pieces of the Formula 1 cars that were destroyed in Iron Man 2. And here is one bonus detail that I want to give you guys before I end this video, and this one is from Iron Man 1. At this point we all know that Obadiah had planned to kill Tony after he goes to Afghanistan, but notice that Tony was 3 hours late for his flight, so the attack that Obadiah had planned also got delayed because of this, and that's why Obadiah couldn't sleep that night, because the job isn't done yet. Therefore he called Tony to check what he is doing.
What? 3 hours.
I got caught doing a piece for Vanity Fair.
For 3 hours. For 3 hours you got me standing.
Waiting on you now. Let's go. Come on. Obi, what are you doing up?
I couldn't sleep till I found out how it went. How'd it go?
Went great. Looks like it's going to be an early Christmas.
This level of continuity in a film is what makes me watch Marvel movies again and again, and I have now covered the entire Iron Man trilogy in 0.25x speed, so if you haven't watched those videos yet, please make sure you do. And that's all I have from Iron Man 3, but if you think I missed any of the details that are hard to catch at a regular speed, then please let me know in the comment section down below. And grab the subscribe button if you haven't already, give me a thumbs up, and follow me on Instagram. I will see you lads in the next one.
Mr. Stark. Oh, Jensen.
Oh, I finally met a man called Hope.